Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Jackson High School on STSPN.com. We have an excellent volleyball matchup for you tonight, featuring the visiting Glacier Peak Grizzlies and the Jackson Timberwolves. 4A volleyball, and both teams vying in positioning for the postseason. And tonight is senior night here at Jackson High School. They are honoring 5 seniors: Lauren Atwood, Sierra Cho, also Lauren Demelin, Taylor Eastwood, and also Marina Bajie, as they are being honored down below. And we're going to take that feed right now, and then we'll join you for the play-by-play camera.
The next teacher that we are going to be recognizing tonight is Marina Kapoor. Okay, coming into the season, I knew I was going to make many new friends, being that I wasn't good friends with anyone on the team. But I had no idea the best one would be with Marina. Last year, Marina and I played on JV together, but did not talk at all whatsoever. Throughout this season, we've talked, and progressively she's become one of my absolute favorite people. Her and I are a lot more alike than I would have ever thought. We have the same humor, taste in music, clothes, movies, and a lot more. I'm so lucky I got to meet Marina her last year at Jackson, but dang, it's real unfortunate we're not in the same grade, because if we were, I'm sure you'd be my best friend. I know I give you a hard time and joke around, but I'm really glad, gonna miss you and all the amazing laughs you shared. Maybe after you finally get your license, we can go to a few concerts and finally get fun. Thanks for being an amazing teammate, brother, and friend. I'm excited to see what the future holds. Okay, the next senior we'll be recognizing is Lauren Atwood.
Okay, I'm Olivia, and me and Lauren were on JV together my freshman year, and although we were friends, we weren't super close. And last year, we grew closer, both with volleyball, and we both had lunch together. I wish I had known Lauren when we were little, because as I've gotten to know her, I have a feeling that we would have been best friends. This year, I can honestly say she was one of my best friends, and I'm not sure how I'm going to get through next year without her. All of the amazing memories and laughs we shared, from vests to muffs to cookies and obsessing over her Jeep, I will cherish forever. Lauren, you are such an amazing person, and I'm so lucky to have you as my best friend, and I know you are a lifelong friend. You will do amazing things in criminal justice or wherever you end up. I'm so thankful for the opportunity to play with you your senior year. Love you so much, bud. Let's make the last of the season one for the books.
The next senior we're going to recognize is Lauren Demelin.
Lauren Demelin has such an amazing personality, and I feel like she lights up every single room she walks into. And everyone in here knows that Lauren has an amazing physical game, but what I admire most is her mental game. Mentality in the game of volleyball is a really, really hard thing to achieve, and Lauren has one of the best mentalities I've ever seen. Your passion for the game is greatly appreciated, and you're just such an amazing person, Lauren, and I love your personality and how happy you are all the time. I will never catch you with a frown on the court, and I love you, Deb.
Okay, so Lauren does this thing before every practice where she runs up to me and she says, "Are you excited?" and gets everyone super pumped up. And I can't believe I'm gonna have to practice without her next year, and it's gonna be so crazy. But what Lauren does the best is when she comes into the huddle and she bends her knees and she puts her arms down and she cheers like no one else. And it just makes you want to cheer more. And you can't help but laugh or at least cheer, and that's one of the hardest things to do in volleyball, and we really appreciate you, Lauren. We love you.
teammates on and off the volleyball court.
L is for always loving us and being there for us.
O is for, you put diesel in your car.
R is for remembering the constant laughs and smiles you brought to our faces. Thanks for being the best teammate and best friend we could ever ask for. We're not joking when we both say we have no idea what we're going to do without you next year. You constantly make us laugh and bring so much light to our lives.
We can't wait to see where your life takes you and what amazing things you'll do. We're so glad to have met you and cherish all the memories and good times you've had together. We'll miss you more than you ever know. We love you, Tay.
And we would also like the seniors from Glacier Peak, if you guys would please stand up, each of you. All right, now we will continue with our 2-minute serve.
At Ace Hardware in Lake Stevens, you not only find what you need, we make sure you get the help you need too. Hi, this is Gray Eaglestead, and I own Lake Stevens Ace Hardware with my wife Christine.
We'll greet you at the door and answer any questions you have about what you need. We're all about serving our customers and our community.
We support local high school sports and many other Lake Stevens organizations and events throughout the year.
So the next time you need something for that job around the house and a little friendly advice, come see us.
Ace Hardware in Lake Stevens, we are the helpful hardware folks.
Ace is the place with the helpful hardware folks.
Did you know that Speedway Chevrolet is part of the Lee Johnson Auto family? That means 84 years of serving you the LJ way. You need a truck? We have the perfect truck to fit your needs. Half tons, 1 ton, 2-wheel drives, and 4-wheel drives. Our finance specialists are here to help you, whether you have good credit or bad credit. We're just off Highway 522 at West Main Street in Monroe.
Lee Johnson Auto Family, the LJ way.
The 5 seniors, and so now they're going through the starting lineups. Let's take a look at those starting lineups. First of all, for the Glacier Peak Grizzlies, they come in with a record of 7-6 in Wesco 4A play, 7-6 overall, and they hold a 1-0 lead against Jackson in the season series. So Jackson looking to even it up. Here are the starters, announced by head coach Dave Thorne. Starting as an outside hitter, a 5'6 senior, Aaliyah Stratton. Also starting as an outside hitter, senior at 5'8, Emily Jamison. Starting in a combined role there for a right side center, middle blocker, she can do quite a bit, junior at 5'8, Claire Johnson. Outside hitter, junior, 5'6", Natalie Ayat. Also starting as a 6'1 middle blocker, junior, Sydney Peterson. Starting as a 5'8 setter, senior, that is Alyssa Zalda. And also starting as a libero, the libero for Glacier Peak is Macy McQuarrie. She is a 5'4 senior. We're going to take a break, and then we'll have, coming up, the starting lineup for Jackson. Students here from Jackson High School doing a duet, boy and girl, and they did a very good job with that.
They did too.
Yeah, and Todd, we actually, while that was going on, had a great opportunity to hear you breathing a little bit with your headphones.
Oh, no,
down.
I had.
You had it off.
I had us off.
Oh, hey, very good. Okay.
I know people like to hear
well,
me
I
breathe,
did, so
you know.
I'm the only one that got the treat. Now we take a look at the Jackson Timberwolves starting lineup. Their head coach is Mindy Staudinger. First of all, setter, 5'9", senior, Taylor Eastwood. Also, another senior starting, a 5'9" outside hitter. That is Ciara Cho. Starting as a senior outside hitter at 5'9", Marina Kapoor. A junior, opposite, 5'10", Christina Johnson. Starting as middle blocker, she's a senior at 6'2", good size right there, Lauren Demelin. And starting as a middle blocker, and she can swing to the opposite, is a junior at 5'10", Ava Dooney. And their libero is a 5'7" junior, Haley Pistol. So there are the two starting lineups for you. Glacier Peak, by the way, has a total of 6 seniors, and they were honored. And that was nice. It's nice now in recent years, the team that is celebrating senior night will also honor the seniors for the opponent, Todd. And that makes it pretty fun for both sides. And we got a nice crowd here tonight. Yeah, this is great. Love to see volleyball getting this kind of support. And, boy, I tell you, lots of pizza down the way for us, too. They're just teasing us.
Boy,
and they got all kinds of food in here tonight for the seniors. So, naturally, we'll try to distract them and borrow a pizza box.
How about that
something
piano
in it?
Concerto there.
Yeah, they had a piano concerto as Glacier Peak was warming up. Kind of a little fun with it. There's the service there to get it started. As Glacier Peak's Zalda puts it in the net, and it's going to be Jackson with the serve. So here we go. We are underway. Christina Johnson back to serve, and it's nice to be at the big house here at Jackson High School, especially over on the other side, Todd, as you see now these teams get up and running.
Wow, that was good.
Oh, big kill over off the left side. Coming through, Ciara Cho, the 5'9" senior, and makes it 2-0 as Jackson gets the early lead here. On STSPN.com, your presenting sponsor is the Lake Stevens Ace Hardware Store. Thank you to Greg and Christine Eaglestad for their great job over there. Big kill, left side. Glacier Peak gets it from Sydney Peterson. Well, we know Sydney can get the job done over on the side and certainly in the middle too there, Todd, is now Glacier Peak will serve down 2-1. Yeah, into the net. So a couple of service errors for Glacier Peak on both of their serves. Not good. Turns it over to Jackson.
I think that's because of the piano.
Yeah, they lulled him down there a little bit. I was going to say, too, Jackson coming in with a record of 8-5, both in conference at Wesco 4A and overall. There's an ace. They get out to a 4-1 lead.
4-1 lead, that's no joke either. I mean, you got to figure it's got to go back and forth every time to make up 4 points. That's like
your math is right on the money. There you go.
All the time, but
yeah. Up in the air, good dig off the backside. Those back-end digs are so important.
Wow, you're not kidding.
Coming through, Christina Johnson, the junior, connects with the kill and takes it up to a 5-1 lead for the Jackson Timberwolves. Serving is Lauren Atwood.
You can see that far?
Yeah, these new glasses kind of help a little bit. Oh, it goes down, and Glacier Peak picks up their second point. Well, let's see here, Todd, if they can end that two-serve skid where they put it into the net for the service errors. Back to serve will be Macy McQuarrie. There you go. Got it over.
I think they better measure that net.
Ooh. Glacier Peak has trouble with it. Grizzlies can't get that ball back up in the air, and so Jackson will serve after getting the point. Lauren Demelin, 6'2". Good strong serve over the top, plenty on it. Jackson doing a great job there of keeping that flat ball going and up in the air. That goes out of bounds. Jackson point, they've got it up to 7-2 here in set number 1. Also, a thank you to Fred's Rivertown Ale House in Snohomish, a longtime sponsor. Going back to 2010. Head on over there and they'll take good care of you at Fred's Rivertown Ale House in Snohomish. That is close. Out of bounds. Glacier Peak needs to stay tight in this one or Jackson's going to run away with it. And we saw Glacier Peak last week in that Tuesday game hosting Lake Stevens, and Lake Stevens still undefeated. Well, they came in there, and they won in 3 sets, but Glacier Peak really gave them a nice battle in those first 2 sets. In fact, they had the lead for a good portion of the second set, and then Lake Stevens just kept grinding and got it, and then were able to win in the third set. Good rally, and now right here, Glacier Peak able to get the point.
Much the undisputed leader in this division. I mean, they've come back and won so many sets in 5. It's just,
and that's big too, especially as you get into the postseason when you can find a way to win those extended sets that go the distance. That come out on the high end of it. That's the right end of it for winning. And there is a kill right up front. Good stroke over in the middle towards the left side. 8-4. Taylor Eastwood, setter, senior at 5'9", will serve for the Jackson Timberwolves. Jackson's got some height, that's for sure. Oh, big ace right there. And up to a 9-4 lead. 4 points matches their biggest lead so far in the set. They were up at 7-2 earlier. Mark Ockett, Todd on STSPN.com. Oh, that's a nice looking one right there. As it just glances off the Glacier Peak player. We got a timeout on the floor. Glacier Peak says, whoa, wait a minute. Dave Thorne going, we got to talk this over. We're down by 6, and this is a big game. We're going to take a timeout, and this is STSPN.com.
We are all frustrated with the high cost of heating and cooling our homes. At GNS, we are completely changing the way you keep your home comfortable. Our Mitsubishi ductless heat pumps allow you to control the temperature in each room separately, all of which can be controlled from your smartphone or tablet. Because we are the mini split experts here in Washington, we can design a perfect system for you, one that will save you a lot of money on your utility bill. Call GNS Heating, Cooling, and Electrical today or visit us at gsheating.com.
We're certainly into that time of year where teams are jockeying for position if they haven't finished their regular season or they're in the first week of postseason play like the Metro League. Serve and handled by Glacier Peak, but out of bounds it goes. Up to a 7-point lead now at 11-4 as Jackson building a bigger and bigger lead against their not too far away rivals. The Glacier Peak Grizzlies actually just curl around, and you're over at Glacier Peak pretty much. Was that about 4 miles from here at tops, Todd?
Yeah, they're not very far. These guys are neighbors.
Yeah, they're neighbors, and you look at club play through the years or since they were in single digits, and they've faced each other quite a bit. That one's going to go out of bounds, and it will be a Glacier Peak point here in set number 1.
These girls are fighting over boyfriends. That's how close they are.
That's right. Two hits, that's what it looked like. Jackson will get the point and the serve.
Now you mentioned you call it for some teams in the Metro League?
Yeah, I've been doing Ballard High School volleyball public address. This is now my 5th year with the Beavers. That one's in the net. 12-6 it goes. And really here, you're taking a look at what's going on in front of us, is that you want to see Glacier Peak to really start putting something together, because a little sluggish out at the start of it with those 2 serves into the net. Now this one's moving along midway through the first set, and it's an opportunity like right there for them to start making up some ground. That's an ace and a point for the Grizzlies. Ace that time by Sydney Gowan, 5'5" senior.
Now, what do you think of the Metro League talent? Are they more dominant than Westco, or do you think in this kind of a sport?
Kill off the left side there, coming through. Cho right up front. And a point for Jackson. Well, last year in 3A, Lakeside won it all. And so, and they're very competitive. You've got also Holy Names is very strong in Metro. Ballard is having a great year. Eastside Catholic. Garfield's had a strong year, but they lost last night. That's a kill off the left side for Glacier Peak. Just doing what they can to inch back into this one. But, of course, that's 3A. This is 4A, so there's a difference in classification. And I have not had a chance to see Wesco 3A volleyball. The games we've done have been 4A, so I'm not sure how that's going to stack up. But you look at Stanwood's had a great year in 3A. Also Arlington. Point for Jackson. Back up to a 6-point lead. Their biggest has been 7 here in the first set at Jackson High School on STSPN.com.
Senior night, they want to make a statement maybe.
Well, I know Jackson definitely, with the crowd and the seniors being honored tonight. Left side kill. Sydney Peterson gets it done, and she just has that athletic look about her. Also plays basketball in a very talented Glacier Peak team. And stepping in there where Lauren Sanders was last year, and as we talked about last week, Lauren advancing from Glacier Peak and now getting starting time, and a lot of it with the University of Washington Huskies as a freshman. Jackson scores another point right there. 10 points to go to pick up a victory here in set number 1.
Yeah, they're the girls' sports has just come so far, and I just have a really great time covering it.
Yeah, and I'm glad you do, too. And we're all glad that you're able to get out, not just for football. We know football is a staple item in the fall, as it should be. It's football. It's a tremendous Friday nights, and if there's other nights to be done, that one's in the net. And it is going to go as a point for Jackson again. Now back to a 7-point lead. You kind of watch and see as Jackson getting early momentum, having the lead early, getting it up to 7-2, and not looking back since that point. And they seem to be in good sync out there. Look at that rotation going around. Glacier Peak needs to just take it 1 point at a time and do what they can to keep climbing back into this. And if they don't get it here in set number 1, you got to set the tone for the second set. That's not going to do it. It's a point for Jackson. Good, solid rally. And now Jackson has their biggest lead of the set at 17-9.
You know what the funny thing is, I've watched enough volleyball now to where you can tell when there's a certain rotation that works better than others.
Oh, absolutely.
And, you know, you come back and go, why was the score so high? You know, what was the difference the first set? Yeah, the rotation was different.
And the coaches are looking for that, too. Oh, tough one to handle. Glacier Peak from the right side gets the point. And now they will serve as into the match for the Grizzlies comes Claire Johnson, 5'8" junior. And serving will be Macy Quarry. Gets up in the air nicely. Strong serve, and that's going to go deep. Couple points in a row for Glacier Peak. And this is another one of those points where you have to string 3, 4, 5 points together to really hope to have a chance to climb back into this one, because Jackson's getting closer and closer to that 25 mark. Off the left side, good dig on the back. Got to play him even, 1 point at a time right here. That's it. Very close, and it is inbound. Grizzlies get it done, and now see that puts a little pressure on. Jackson said, well, maybe we need to talk things over a little bit. 17-12 the score. They still have the 5-point lead, but 3 points in a row here in set number 1 for the Glacier Peak Grizzlies. I'm Mark Ockett with Todd Elbig. We'll be back with more here on STSPN.com.
When you shop at Ace Hardware in Lake Stevens, you not only find what you need, we make sure you get the help you need too. Hi, this is Gray Eaglestead, and I own Lake Stevens Ace Hardware with my wife Christine.
We'll greet you at the door and answer any questions you have about what you need. We're all about serving our customers and our community.
We support local high school sports and many other Lake Stevens organizations and events throughout the year.
So the next time you need something for that job around the house and a little friendly advice, come see us.
Ace Hardware in Lake Stevens. We are the helpful hardware folks.
Ace is the place with the helpful hardware folks.
Welcome back to Jackson High School. We are flip-flopped on the other side from where we usually are for basketball, and it's, Todd, kind of cool to be over on this side watching as the benches and the official scorers are over in the normal spot there, but this is a good-sized facility. There's no doubt about that. Kill off the left side for Jackson. Paige Wilson right there. Jackson finally able to get a point after Glacier Peak scored 3 in a row, and the timeout getting them refocused perhaps. Into the net, not on that one.
Well, you know, I don't know if the people at home can see over on the right side there of your screen. That whole section opens up. The other side all opens up. This side is as big as the opposite side, so this is definitely a venue that's meant to host really large events.
Oh, absolutely, and I think it can put about 4,000 in here, something like that.
Boy, this place rocks with a bunch of people.
Yeah, and we've seen it. It's loud and it is fun, and just another part of the great aspect of high school activities, whether it be in sports or whatever you're doing. They have a lot of great band rallies in here too. Kill for Jackson. They've got it up to a 6-point lead now.
You know, the crowd here is just, this is the biggest crowd I've seen so far at volleyball.
Really good turnout tonight. Now, we're right by them. That's where the camera is, so you can't quite tell, but we might have Todd pan around and try to get a shot as to how it looks here tonight. And that one's in the net, so up to a 7-point lead for the Jackson Timberwolves. Serving is Taylor Eastwood. She's back at it, back at the controls on the serve. With the left hand, that one going into the back line. Handled well by Ayat. Back over to the other side. Solid rally on both sides. Let's see who wraps this one up. And it's going to be off the left pin for Claire Johnson. Getting the job done for the Grizzlies as they will get the serve back. Aaliyah Stratton, the senior. Glacier Peak in their white numbers with the blue uniform tops, a blue and white mixture in there and some silver. That's a great return with the two hands, but Jackson handles it well. Down it goes, and it's a point for the Timberwolves. Up to a 7-point lead again. and they will serve.
You know, I think that's one of the issues that Glacier Peak has kind of been played with a little bit this year is just a little bit of their organization. I think some of the girls are out of place more often than they should be.
Makes a difference. Lexi Dollarhide with the serve. That goes out of bounds. Jackson just 3 points away from picking up a victory here in set number 1. Dollarhide with the serve again. Handled well off the back line with the dig. Brought back down. There is Ciara Cho. Cho has played very well here in the early going, right on that left side. She's not letting things get past her. Now a 9-point lead. This ties the biggest lead of the set, or is the biggest lead of the set for Jackson.
It'll be a long night for the Grizzlies if they go.
Yeah, Jackson is just really sharp up front. Ava Dooney blocking it back down, and now a 10-point lead here in set number 1.
Set point.
Set point coming up. Man, the crowd is jacked up on their feet, and doesn't work that time as Glacier Peak stays alive.
Now you know why we set up on the other side.
Back into the lineup for Glacier Peak. You see number 4, Sydney Gowan, who will serve, and also Sydney Peterson. That's a double Sydney substitution, Todd. Left-handed serve, way back, gets up in the air. Oh, solid ace for Sydney Gowan, the 5'5" senior. Glacier Peak staying at it, and right now they would have to have some kind of a miraculous comeback to win this thing, but
the crowd just got a thumbs down from number 3 here.
One of the players from Cho.
Yeah, Cho gave him a don't do that, because both times they scored, it was like a super.
Yes, that's true. Yeah. It's only good if it works.
Yeah.
Cho goes into the tower too, so she's having to keep the crowd under control and stay with the ball. 24-17, a 3-point run for Glacier Peak. Trouble handling that one, but it's diverted back. Good hustle that time by Pistol. Haley Pistol out there, the libero. Cho, soft touch, handled well. Glacier Peak gets it done again off the front, left side. Down to a 6-point deficit. Long, long way to go, but again, Todd, it's 1 point at a time.
It is 1 point at a time, but I think it's going to be too late here.
Next one on the way from Gowan. Look out, soft touch, gets it done. That's Ava Dooney. Dooney finishes it up as Jackson will win the first set 25-18. They take a 1-0 lead as the two teams will switch sides. We'll take a break, and this is STSPN.com and coverage of 4A Wesco volleyball between the Jackson Timberwolves and the Glacier Peak Grizzlies.
GNS Heating, Cooling, and Electrical would like to take this opportunity to thank you for giving us a chance to earn your business. In the next few moments, we will present a broad overview of our company and what goes on behind the scenes that sets us apart from our competitors. GNS was founded in 1977. Since then, we have grown to become a well-known leader in the Puget Sound area for residential, commercial HVAC, and electrical services. Our newest location in Everett is just over 8,000 square feet, with nearly 2,000 feet dedicated to our office staff. It houses our call center, accounting, scheduling, sales, and system design departments. 5,000 square feet of our new facility is for our vast inventory of heat pumps, furnaces, ducting, electrical wiring, and associated parts. Our fabrication shop is just over 1,000 square feet. This is where we custom fabricate each sheet metal fitting specifically for your home or building. GNS receives shipments of new HVAC parts and equipment nearly every business day to help streamline our installation process and save our customers money. GNS also has an on-site training facility with actual working HVAC systems. These systems are for ongoing service and installation technician training. We currently employ over 40 highly skilled and motivated individuals in various positions throughout the company. Whether you need an emergency service, new installation, or just a routine maintenance, we have the personnel to get the job done right. GNS maintains a fleet of over 25 well-stocked vehicles spread throughout all 3 departments. That means each truck is outfitted for the specific purpose of the job. Why do we tell you all this? Because we want you to know that whatever your need may be, we are a service company you can depend on. GNS is licensed and bonded. GNS stands behind their work with a satisfaction guarantee.
We're back live at Jackson High School. The Jackson Timberwolves taking a 1-0 lead with a 25-18 win in set number 1. Now they are in the white with the libero in green to your left, and Glacier Peak has the blue uniform tops. Mark Ockett with Todd Elbig right here, and we want to thank one of our great sponsors, GNS Heating, Cooling, and Electrical. They play a big factor in taking care of people up here in Snohomish County, and probably pop out of the county too to get things done. So again, thank you to GNS Heating, Cooling, and Electrical here in Snohomish County. Where's their exact location at there, Todd? I know you've I've actually gone by it.
Yeah, no.
We'll wait for Todd to join us here.
They were, they've been in Monroe for, 40, 50 years, and then they just recently, last couple of years, they moved to Everett.
So do they still have
Right
the
off the
Monroe
freeway.
location, or do they move it all over to Everett?
They moved it all over.
Yeah,
You'll know
I know where
because
that
they've
is,
got-
right by the freeway.
Yeah, they got a great big 12 flag, a great big GNS flag, but of course it's under the U.S. flag.
That's very well in the way it should be. We're underway here in set number 2. Glacier Peak with Sydney Peterson right up front. 2 hands and down it goes, and Peterson, a hard and big wall to get by there in up front for the Glacier Peak Grizzlies. Handled well off the serve. Good ball movement. Big kill right there. Excellent set by Taylor Eastwood, and Lauren Demelin puts the crunch on it to wrap it up for the kill, and it's 2-0 Jackson. And Jackson, Todd, got off to a 2-0 start in the first set, built it up 4-1, 7-2, 9-4, 11-4, and just kept going. Got it up to 24-14 when Glacier Peak reeled off 4 in a row, but then Jackson put it away. Again, Lauren Demelin on senior night, the 6'2 senior delivers. Kapow!
It's not how you play in the spring. It's how you play in the fall.
Yep, and right now they are really rising and shining in this one. Into the net. Sydney Peterson driving it there, and another point for Jackson as they build it up to a 3-1 lead.
I still think it's the piano.
Yeah, that soft and tender piano music, which was playing when Glacier Peak was warming up. All of a sudden I look up and I go to Todd, well, what the heck? Yeah, they're just trying a little gamesmanship
Yep,
there.
a little gamesmanship.
That goes out of bounds, driven by Glacier Peak. Timberwolves with the point. Now we talk about the capacity of this facility. We've been in here for many conference tournaments.
Yes, we have.
And the people who run this facility are used to them and do a great job of taking care of us. Now Glacier Peak able to get a point. I also want to thank our friends, and we'll have plenty of simulcasts coming up, including from this building for basketball, both boys and girls, and that would be Fox Sports 1380 and FM 95.3 KRKO in Everett. Drilling it off the right is Demelin. She is having an outstanding second set here and holding her own throughout the 2 sets as Demelin now will serve. Jackson builds it up to a 5-2 lead.
Yeah, I just want to say that KRKO, they've just been great partners for the last few years. And, I mean, they've been with us for a really long time, but boy, the last couple of years they just stepped it up.
Look at that kill from the left with the left hand. Claire Johnson, 5'8" junior, delivering. Glacier Peak will make a substitution. Carly Bond now in for the Grizzlies. And serving will be Sierra Pratt. A lot of lefties we're seeing out here. That one goes long. Takes it to 6-3. I mentioned earlier, and if you're just tuning in, it was a 3-set win for Lake Stevens in the game we did last Tuesday. So 8 days ago, Glacier Peak gave them a battle early on, and then Lake Stevens pulled away. It'll be interesting to see how long this one goes tonight. Jackson clearly has momentum in the first 2 sets. They now lead 7-3. But in the first matchup, Glacier Peak won in 5 sets, 3-2. And keep in mind, first 4 sets, if they're needed for all of them, we know we're going to go 3, but the first 4 will go to 25, and the 5th, if needed, goes to 15. All win by 2. Last touched by the Grizzlies, and Jackson has it up to an 8-3 lead here in set number 2. Serving, Taylor Eastwood, also a lefty. And when you see the left-handers, that can throw you off too. Like with any sports, it's coming from a different angle, a different type of spin, and that one goes off Glacier Peak, and now a 9-3 lead. And you have to think that Dave Thorne will be looking timeout here pretty quickly. I remember in the first set, Jackson got it up to 10-4, and Thorne said, okay, we need to talk. Good kill. Claire Johnson doing a good job of keeping the Grizzlies in this one, Todd.
I see him shaking his clipboard over there. I think he's a little bit concerned.
Yeah, he's getting challenged on this here with how the team has been playing of late, too. They've lost 3 in a row. Glacier Peak, with their second 3-game losing streak of the season, as Jackson delivers. So Glacier Peak actually opened the season with a 3-game winning streak. They beat Cascade 3-0, Mariner 3-0, and then Monroe 3-2. So they got off to a good start as they won 9 of their first 11 sets to get the year rolling.
Wow, that's good.
Lexi Dollarhide serving. Excellent. On that reverse there is Cho. Cho's played very well. It's real early, but we start thinking about our Speedway Chevrolet player of the game, Todd, because you got to be watching it from the early going in the sense that one of those players doing a good job in the first set or two could really set the tone for how the rest of the evening goes as the Grizzlies are able to bat it down and get the point.
You know, one of the previous students is probably watching, Paisley Johnson. I bet she was wishing she was here to help. She went off to play basketball for Utah.
And we do like to point out those graduates who have moved on and are playing athletics are also ones that are going and doing very well academically, or both, because it's all important to just keep advancing and improving on your education, your athletic skills if you get that opportunity. Point for Jackson, and now serving is Ava Dooney. Pow. Sydney Peterson putting a lot into it, but handled very well by the Jackson Timberwolves. And that's inbounds. Glacier Peak picks up the point, trying to stay close, making it 11-6. Alyssa Zalda back in, and usually when she comes in, she does serve, and that's where she's headed right now.
Now, they can do a double substitution as much as they want.
Well, you start adding up on the total of substitutions, and that's going to be in on the Glacier Peak side. Makes it 12-6, and every time Glacier Peak gnaws a little bit, tries to get something, Jackson just counters very effectively. 12-6 the score. Over the top, nobody there to get it. Christina Johnson picks up the ace, builds it up to a 13-6 lead. 7-point lead, their biggest here in the set. Biggest lead in set number 1 was 10 points at 24-14. There's so much decision making as far as how you're going to return that ball. And sometimes it's the obvious things. Look at that kill off the left side. That's Ciara Cho delivering. Back to an 8-point lead, or up to an 8-point lead. And a timeout has been called by the head coach of the Glacier Peak Grizzlies, Dave Thorne. 14-6 the score. Jackson leading. They already lead 1-0, and they're up in set number 2. You've got it on STSPN.com.
Your dreams evolve, and with committed support, they thrive. American Family Insurance.
If you're sitting on the front row, please move. Thank you.
Welcome back. We are here live at Jackson High School. Mark Ockett with Todd Elvig bringing you the action between the Jackson Timberwolves, the host team, and the visitors tonight, the Glacier Peak Grizzlies. It looks like some students are being asked to move. We've got a number of them on the first row, and for safety's sake and for everybody, both for the players and the fans, they don't want people sitting in the very front row there. They have to get out of the Bob Euchre seats and move back a ways, at least into the second or third row. And personally, Todd, I like being up higher like this, like we are, and we were last week at Glacier Peak. This is somewhat similar in height to where we were at Glacier Peak last week, and you really get an opportunity to see the formations, the rotations, and what's going on down on the court. Just inbound. That's Lauren Demelin delivering again. Up to a 9-point lead at 15-6. They just keep packing them on. Rifling coming through is Sydney Peterson, and that goes off the Jackson players up front, 2 of them. And Grizzlies finally able to stop that stretch of Jackson points. Serving for the Grizzlies, Natalie Ayat puts it into the net. That gives the Timberwolves the point. Cho will come out of the match, and Lauren Atwood in. Atwood goes right into serve 2. Plenty on that one, and Grizzlies handle it, better get it over the top. That always kind of scares me when a player flat-footed will slap it like that, but they seem to know what they're doing.
I'm amazed that they know what they're doing. That's
yeah, well, there's so many different angles and ways that you can use your hands to handle things defensively, get it in the air, set it, kill it, keep it alive, stave off that point that could be going to the other team. Blocked down right there. Sydney Peterson's right up front. Also there is Emily Jamison, and they get the point to make it 16-8.
There's a good rally. That wasn't you.
That one out?
You're always number 1.
Here we go as the serve is done. That goes into the net. And a point for the Glacier Peak Grizzlies. Down by 7 now. But like the first set, Todd, it is an uphill climb with that much of a gap. And the way Jackson is playing tonight, they have come out strong and they have not let up at all. That doesn't help Glacier Peak as it turns out to be a point for Jackson. Demelin will serve up in the middle, and she's proven herself a capable server so far tonight. Does it again. I was thinking this was going to be closer, but so far not the case.
Yeah,
you get down 2-0. That makes it very challenging. That's trouble. Tough to handle there. Christina Johnson with the pile driver.
And what was the score in the first time they met?
3-2. Glacier Peak won that one.
Yep.
And I was going through how with the season and it got going well for Glacier Peak as they won their first 3 sets or 3 matches, and they only lost their last 2 sets in that stretch, and that was to Monroe. But then they lost 3 matches in a row. They lost to Lake Stevens. We know how tough Lake Stevens is, 3-0. That was on September 20th. And then lost a close one to Mount Vernon, 3-2. Lost to Kamiak, 3-1 on September 28th. Glacier Peak picks up the point there. Then Glacier Peak got on a roll. They went on a 4-game winning streak. They beat Jackson 3-2 to get things started on October 3rd. And then with very impressive sweeps, they won 3-0 in 3 consecutive matches against Cascade, Mariner, and Monroe. But then last week against Lake Stevens, things started to turn. They lost to Lake Stevens 3-0, lost to Monroe for the second time this year, 3-2. That was just like how it was the previous time. Kept alive. That was a great play by Jackson's Paige Wilson. And Jackson finally comes out on top after the rally concludes. But Wilson was the one that did a great job of keeping that ball alive.
I think that when you look at those scores, I think that's why this game was so important, because it turns out that they've won most of the games that people thought they should win, and they've lost most of the games that people thought they would lose. The division is stacked up just almost exactly by Glacier Peak's wins and losses, because Lake Stevens, Mount Vernon, and Kamiak are all ahead of Glacier Peak.
Glacier Peak did play earlier this week. That was against Kamiak. They lost 3-1. So in the 2 times against Kamiak, they've lost twice. They lost both their matches against Mount Vernon and also Lake Stevens. So it's basically a repeat. This 3-game losing streak is a repeat of what they did earlier this year when they faced those teams the first time around. Now up by 9 points, 20-11. Cho trying to be the difference. She is. Had a nice one-handed push on that previous play and then got another shot at it and deflected it off Glacier Peak. It's up to a 10-point lead. Lexi Dollarhide up in the air and serving. That was out of bounds. It went on the other side of the antenna. And Jackson really pulling away.
You think they get good reception off those antennas?
Hey, that helps us. We actually send our signal out on those.
Yeah.
Wouldn't that fake people out?
Oh,
great return. Ouch. That's a carry, and it's going to be a point for the Jackson Timberwolves.
You know, actually, we have to make sure that people know that our signal doesn't go out on those, because
no.
If somebody thought that we were using those,
yeah,
they'd complain.
Oh yeah, they'd be calling the FCC, or they'd be saying that the transmission is causing problems with the players' health or something like that. In the age of sensitivity, that's the kind of stuff that goes on all the time. You're going, no, we were joking.
That's right.
Joking. Everything doesn't have to be so serious. Here we go. 23-12.
Just about got them doubled up.
Sydney Gowan dealing. That's tough to play right there. It was too close to the net, and coming from the backside trying to get it over the top was Christina Johnson. 10-point lead for Jackson. It's looking good for them to take a 2-0 lead. They won the first set 25-18 and led throughout. Cho, too much on it. Goes out of bounds.
Again, sauce.
Similar to last time, it's a 9-point lead right now as Glacier Peak's got 3 in a row, but still such a long ways to go that it's very difficult when you're down like this. But you do want to do what you can to stay fundamentally sound as Cho gets it done over on the left side again so that you carry some of that forward to the next set. and it's a 10-point lead, 24-14. This is exactly what it was in set number 1.
Oh, here comes the crowd.
Crowd on their feet for the set point. Served up this time by Dooney. And that last touch by the Grizzlies. Big win for Jackson. They win this one even bigger, 25-14. So they now lead 2-0 and making it look easy at this point against the Glacier Peak Grizzlies. So tough start for Glacier Peak. We'll see if they can reload as the two teams will switch sides and get ready for set number 3. Jackson with a lot of momentum, and you got it tuned on the home for high school sports, STSPN.com. Thanks for being with us tonight on STSPN.com. And Todd, we have football coming up on STSPN.com. I'll be announcing Husky Volleyball against USC on Friday night. But the crew and who's doing it and where's it at, it's a big one. It is a big one. Friday night.
Really big one. They're both undefeated in the division. Monroe and Lake Stevens. Lake Stevens will be at Monroe.
Sweet.
And we got the so-called A team, the one that we use most of the games. Of course, you know, I consider you part of the A team, but you will be not
kind of busy with the volleyball stuff I'm doing all year.
No, we'll be live out of Monroe, and it's going to be a barn burner. It's going to be a big one.
Lake Stevens and Monroe. That is just a great sounding evening of high school football right there here on STSPN.com. Well, Glacier Peak gets started with a successful serve by Alyssa Zalda. We'll see where they go in this set. They got to get it done in this one or the night is over here on senior night at Jackson High School in the last game of the regular season. That goes out of bounds, so she goes 1 for 2 on those serves. Jackson ready to go, and that is Christina Johnson I do want to go over some specifics as to what's happening with the postseason and where they're at right now in the league standings. So we'll look at the league standings for both 4A and 3A. Sydney Peterson off the left side is Glacier Peak up on top. This is really the way it's gone tonight, an unfamiliar position for them. Natalie Ayat serving just over the top. That's an ace. 3-1 Peak. So if you look at Wesco 4A, Lake Stevens is on top, 13-0, followed by Kamiak at 11-2, then Jackson at 8-5, Glacier Peak and Mount Vernon each 7-6. Whistles blown down below. That's going to be a point.
Stepped over the line.
As a step over the line, a point for the Jackson Timberwolves. Monroe 4-9, Mariner 2-11, and Cascade is 0-13. In Wesco 3A, Stanwood's on top at 11-0. Then Arlington and Snohomish tied for second place at 9-3. Edmonds, Woodway, and Linwood right after them, both 8-4. Short. Sarah Habib having some trouble with that one. And it's tied at 3 apiece. And here comes Jackson roaring right back after falling down 3-1. And then you've got so Shorewood and Oak Harbor 7-5. Everett 6-6, Mount Lake Terrace 3-8, Shorecrest 3-9, with Meadowdale also 3-9, Marysville Getchell 2-9, Marysville Pilchuck 0-11, and Jackson takes the lead. I think they smell a 3-set victory tonight, Todd. They've just been firing on all cylinders right from the get-go.
Yeah, you know, I think looking at the standings,
Glacier Peak says otherwise on that one.
Looking at the standings, I think the games have gone just that way, like I said earlier. The top four have pretty much, or top five have pretty much won all the games that they were supposed to. And so this was really a question mark here.
Into the net. Tough break that time for Quare Johnson. So activity tonight around the two classifications, Cascade and Lake Stevens, also playing at this time. You've got Mariner and Monroe, Mount Vernon and Kamiak, Stanwood and Marysville Pilchuck, Mount Lake Terrace at Marysville Getchell. That's all the action that's taking place right at this moment.
Kamiak and Kamiak and Mount Vernon, that's got to be another
Yeah, that is a good
match.
one right there.
I think these were the two.
Just over the net. That's tough for them to do. I think they just got a little bit kind of way it come off the net that time. It did. She got the top of the tape, and the two players weren't sure whether to zig or zag, and as it turns out, it splits the defenders and becomes a 6-4 lead for Glacier Peak as they make it interesting. We'd like to see them make it interesting, but again, you got to keep it rolling, and there is the ball that sails out of bounds for a service error, and it's going to go right back to Jackson. Lauren Demelin serving. She's had a real good night. Good job over on that far side by Atwood. One hand. Demelin strong on the dig on the back line. That's just in bounds with a two-handed touch by Ava Dooney. We are tied at 6, Todd.
It is the more competitive match so far, but again, I just see, yeah, I can't, I'm not going to say it, but I just see some players out of place.
Jackson winning the first set 25-18, and the second set 25-14. It's like that was out of bounds. Last touch by the Grizzlies. It hit the antenna. I saw Romeo Escalona on the backside there, who's the line judge on the Glacier Peak side. So, no, that got the antenna. So it's the first lead.
I saw some snow on the screen there when it hit that.
Into the net. Sarah Habib just did not have enough on that one. An 8-6 lead now, and we'll see if Jackson pulls away again, much like they've done in the first two sets. Give them an inch, and they've been taking it a mile. Good hustle Coming over Lauren Atwood again.
Wow.
Demelin just a little short.
You thought they were
on
going to
that
get
reverse,
that over.
but the way they've played, and Demelin's going to just take a breather right now. Grizzlies will serve. Also coming out for Glacier Peak is Alyssa Zalda, and serving for the Grizzlies, Sierra Pratt. Backed her up some. Good set. Kept alive by Jackson. Strong right hand by Paige Wilson. That's in there. Claire Johnson delivers. Tied at 8. Nice to see Glacier Peak hanging in there, not going away. We're tied at 3, tied at 6, now tied at 8. Well, Todd, the 3A classification has play-in games. That is going to be out on the service error, giving Jackson the lead. So they got play-in games coming up on Saturday.
We're wondering if there's going to be a couple at Snohomish. If there is, we'll probably cover those.
So on Saturday at 1 p.m., you've got Shorecrest and Edmonds Woodway. Winner to district, loser is out. That's high in the air off the wall, and it's going to be a point for Jackson. Back to a 2-point lead for the T-Wolves. That's a 1 o'clock game again at Edmonds Woodway High School. Shorecrest against Edmonds Woodway. And then at 1 o'clock at Shorewood High School, Everett against Shorewood. So they'll be playing a true home game there, just like Edmonds Woodway. Keeping an eye on this one. That's in from the middle. It gets done by Carly Bond. Keeping it close at 10-9. And now an opportunity for Emily Jamison as she serves to do what she can to help her team tie this up. Set number 3 here at Jackson High School on STSPN.com, with Jackson winning the first 2 sets. That sails and just out of bounds. Nice try by Natalie Ayat. And it gives Jackson a 2-point lead. The third game, also at 1 o'clock for the play-in, will be Squalicum at Oak Harbor. All 3 of the games, 1 o'clock. And that one is winner to district, loser out. So you got to win to stay alive in 3A in those Saturday matchups. Now, another big facility in the area, Todd, is Marysville-Pilchuck High School and the field house that they have there, and they host a number of tournaments. That one is inbounds. Glacier Peak staying within 1 as Sydney Peterson will come back into the match. Also in Sydney Gowan, and they've done that before with the dual Sydneys coming in, as Gowan will serve. Just at 5'5", left-handed server. She starts way back by the entry doors to the gym and gets it in the air too much that time. It goes out of bounds and gives Jackson a 2-point lead again at 12-10. And that seems to be the back and forth right now. Once Jackson took the lead at 9-8, it's been a 1 or 2 point lead for the Timberwolves.
Well, but they've kept it a lot closer than the.
Oh yeah, this third set's a lot different in composure than the previous 2. Sydney Peterson right up front. Her height and good positioning gets it done. You know, the other thing, too, as you move along through the evening, this is where you start to see how fatigue sets in or other teams start getting stronger as they go along. And Jackson has played very active, very physically present and rotating around out there. There's another service there. It's back to a 2-point lead for the Timberwolves. They've put a lot of effort in there, and Glacier Peak certainly playing hard, but now let's see if maybe it's starting to balance out a little bit as far as stamina is concerned.
That is correct. It doesn't look like they are doing much out there, but they are doing a lot.
Oh, no, they're
running all over the place.
On the jumping, and let's see us try to get off the ground like that. There's Cho. Big night for Ciara Cho. I'd say if looking at the top 2 candidates for the Speedway Chevrolet Player of the Game, Todd, I'd have to look at Ciara Cho, the senior outside hitter, or Lauren Demelin, senior middle blocker. Between the 2 of them, they've really been a factor in this one tonight for the Jackson Timberwolves. Great team effort, but those two standing out right now. And Cho's really had a lot of energy out there. That's going to be a point for Jackson. It's up to a 4-point lead at 15-11. And Todd, if people are just new to STSPN.com and finding out what great service you provide, is that they can also, this will be archived too, correct?
That is right.
So that people can check it out later. That one's on the floor. Jackson's starting to pull away, and we have a timeout called once again by Dave Thorne, the head coach of the Glacier Peak Grizzlies. Jackson up to their biggest lead here in set number 3. It's 16-11, and Thorne wants to slow things down and get this one turned around for his Grizzlies. We'll be back with more here on STSPN.com.
Did you know that Speedway Chevrolet is part of the Lee Johnson Auto family? That means 84 years of serving you the LJ way. Need a truck? We have the perfect truck to fit your needs. Half tons, 1 ton, 2-wheel drives, and 4-wheel drives. Our finance specialists are here to help you, whether you have good credit or bad credit. We're just off Highway 522 at West Main Street in Monroe.
Lee Johnson Auto Family, the LJ way.
Welcome back. Jackson on top, 16-11, as they have grabbed momentum again here in this one after it being close through about the first 12 points on each side. Grizzlies coming through. Peterson over on the left side, make it a 4-point set. And Todd, going back to what's going on in 3A, they get started on Halloween with the tournament at Marysville-Pilchuck High School. Some of the teams have been determined, but they've still got to work things out with the play-in. Jackson, kill and point. So on the October 31st, which is a week from yesterday, Halloween night. And, of course, if you're covering that, Todd, I'm sure you'll be all dressed up in your usual fare.
You know it.
And so Linwood and Ferndale play, actually, they're at local sites on that first night, but the main tournament does go at Marysville-Pilchuck as they go along. On the left side, Emily Jamison will get the kill. Glacier Peak keeps it at 4 points, and serving is Macy McQuarrie. So on October 31st, Linwood against Ferndale, 5 o'clock. That's at Snohomish as part one of a doubleheader. And then one of the play-in teams will play against Snohomish at 7 o'clock on the 31st. 5-point lead for Jackson. They need 7 to win it if they win by 2. Demelin with the serve. Glacier Peak, good soft touch. Emily Jamison comes through again for Glacier Peak. I'd say she stood out as certainly an outstanding player for the Grizzlies tonight to help keep this one in, especially this third set. Also on the 31st, a doubleheader at Stanwood, and that will feature a play-in team in slot B. So as I see it, that would be the winner of Everett Shorewood up against Arlington. That's a 5 o'clock. Glacier Peak gets the point here. And then the winner of Squalicum Oak Harbor, as it looks like, plays against Stanwood. That is at 7 o'clock on October 31st. So while some are out trick-or-treating, a lot of activity going on at Snohomish and Stanwood that night.
So did you mention the play-in games?
Yes, I did.
Yeah, okay.
I got those in.
Just looking at those. Those are coming up Saturday?
Those are Saturday. And those are taking place at the host school for each one, Edmonds, Woodway, Shorewood, and Oak Harbor. That's trouble. Good hands for Jackson as it forces it. A 5-point lead for the T-Wolves. And then, of course, that plays on, and you get to Marysville-Pilchuck on November 4th to wrap it up. They'll have several games that day. Service error. Glacier Peak stays within 4.
Yeah, so we'll absolutely be covering the Snohomish October 31st game, the first round of the playoffs. And then if it stays at higher
Oh,
seed,
that's close. Just out of bounds, though. Glacier Peak cuts it to 3 points. All right, now taking a look at what's going on November 2nd. Now this will be for the 4A, and these will be at Marysville-Pilchuck High School. So they have to determine all those games. There'll be several games taking place, and they can do 2 at once at that venue. That's the 4A, and that will play on through November 4th. So you'll have both the 3A and the 4A going to wrap it up at Marysville-Pilchuck on November 4th. And a timeout called. It's a 2-point set as the Grizzlies have come back in this one to make it interesting. 20-18. This is STSPN.com. Mark Ockett with you with Todd Elvig. We'll return with more, and we'll see if Glacier Peak can keep pushing Jackson.
When you shop at Ace Hardware in Lake Stevens, you not only find what you need, we make sure you get the help you need too. Hi, this is Gray Eaglestead, and I own Lake Stevens Ace Hardware with my wife Christine.
We'll greet you at the door and answer any questions you have about what you need. We're all about serving our customers and our community.
We support local high school sports and many other Lake Stevens organizations and events throughout the year.
So the next time you need something for that job around the house and a little friendly advice, come see us.
Ace Hardware in Lake Stevens. We are the helpful hardware folks.
Ace is the place with the helpful hardware folks.
Here we are at Jackson High School. Jackson with a 2-point lead, 20-18, and a 3-0 run for Glacier Peak. Let's focus close. Double hit. Grizzlies get the point. They have a chance to tie right here. They're down 2-0, but you take it 1 set at a time and down to 1 point at a time. Off the serve. Grizzlies again, right there. Carly Bond and Claire Johnson. We are tied, 20-20. Todd, how about this? Glacier Peak on a 5-0 run. Do they have enough to push it to get the victory in this set? That goes too long. Sometimes, too, players will get a little amped up, maybe have a little concentration lapse with the excitement. That might have been the case there as it went long on the serve. And so you're looking at 21-20. Substitution in for Jackson, Lexi Dollarhide. She goes right into serve. And a service error by Dollarhide, tied at 21. And the substitutions to rotate around. Sydney Gowan back in and serving. She's way back, as we've talked about, off the left side. You see her come in at the very end there with the serve. Anybody set here. Tied at 21. Cho. And Cho tried, but Glacier Peak with the strength up front and the size get it done. Sydney Peterson right there with Carly Bond. Bond 5'10", Peterson 6'1", and Peak has a 1-point lead, 22-21. Cho tries again, soft touch. Glacier Peak right there to defend. Ooh, tough break into the net. Tied at 22. Back in is Lauren Demelin, who's had a great match tonight. Ava Dooney serving. Up in the air with the right hand. And Glacier Peak's got to go the other direction. Tough to handle. Peterson got her hand on it. Oh, look out. That's a carry, and it's going to be a point for the Grizzlies. They're up by 1.
Wow.
23-22. Driving hard to push this to 4 sets. And we expected it to go 4 or 5 sets tonight with the way things went the first time these teams met. In the 3-2 5-set win by Glacier Peak over at Glacier Peak. Peterson coming through with the kill. And it's set point time for the Grizzlies.
Oh.
Timeout called by Jackson. Jackson with a 2-point deficit. And Glacier Peak with an opportunity to win this when we come back here on STSPN.com.
Your dreams evolve, and with committed support, they thrive. American Family Insurance.
Here we go. Back with a chance for Glacier Peak to pick up the victory. In set number 3, and they do! Sydney Peterson, right up front, blocks it down. Glacier Peak forces a set number 4. They win set number 3, 25-22. Jackson leads 2-1, but we are going to have set number 4. Thanks for being with us here on STSPN.com.
We are all frustrated with the high cost of heating and cooling our homes. At GNS, we are completely changing the way you keep your home comfortable. Our Mitsubishi ductless heat pumps allow you to control the temperature in each room separately, all of which can be controlled from your smartphone or tablet. Because we are the mini split experts here in Washington, we can design a perfect system for you, one that will save you a lot of money on your utility bill. Call GNS Heating, Cooling, and Electrical today or visit us at gsheating.com.
How about this? We're going to set number 4. Jackson did very well in their first 2 sets, winning 25-18, 25-14 against Glacier Peak. But Glacier Peak definitely strong in that 3rd set. They come away with a 25-22 victory. And you know what's interesting, Todd? They were down 20-15 and went on a 10-2 run to pick up the win and force set number 4. And now they've also got that air of confidence about them to try to force a set number 5 here on the final night of the regular season. That one doesn't work into the net, and it's going to be a Jackson point. Serving for Jackson is Christina Johnson. But it intensifies the action here tonight. Adds some more drama to what's going on, and we're going to check on those playoff positions too. Oh, Ace Johnson coming through.
Ace
now,
is the place.
Yeah, and that would take us right to our good friends Lake Stevens Ace Hardware Store, and they take great care of you. Especially, you look at these weather conditions, stop by, get what you need.
We picked up some propane.
2 hits. And that's going to be a 3-0 lead for Jackson. They get out the gate strong. Go ahead.
We picked up some propane there last week because we have to keep our cameraman warm during the football.
We were in great shape last Friday for football. Getting some serious STSPN time in. And that is an ace. Johnson comes through again. It's up to 4-0, just like that. Jackson does not want to go 5. You know, we had that 47-0 win by Snohomish over Mount Lake Terrace on Friday night. I had the chance to call it with Luke Windsor, and the big one coming up this Friday night. Who's the broadcast crew for that one?
Scott Oshman and Tim Boyle. We're
Great.
still working on sidelines. I think it might be either Steve Willits or Ron Henthorne.
Well, probably a bidding war to get in on that one because it's going to be a great game. And I understand as Glacier Peak gets the point to make it 4-1, they're going to serve now. Oh, under the net. Again, maybe getting a little too amped up right there was Natalie Ayat. So it's now 5-1, and we're going to have Jackson serving. Serving is Lauren Atwood. But those teams, what a great matchup. Lake Stevens and Monroe, and I understand they've made it work well for you for accommodations at Monroe on Friday night because I know that you need plenty of room to make that work from a TV standpoint.
Yeah, you really do. And
Peterson!
You do, and also, you know, just to have them want you there. I mean, they don't even have to really do anything for or against, but if a school wants you there, it seems like things work out smoother.
Mm-hmm.
If they don't really want you there, then it seems like things are a little bit more difficult. Doesn't mean you can't do it, but
that looks like an ace to me, and it is. It was in. Coming through is Macy McQuarrie. 5-3. Jackson on top. Well, we saw what Glacier Peak was capable of doing in that last set. They just got to keep it up to force this one along. Out of bounds. But it was, let's see, it looks like we have a violation. That's going to be a called against Glacier Peak. And it'll make it a 6-3 lead as Demelin will serve.
What was the violation?
Net. They call it a net violation. It was called by the R2, the referee number 2. And that is, when you hear that whistle down there, I've become conditioned to look and see if that is the call, and it was the case that time. That's going to work for Jackson. Again, kind of a late call. Paige Wilson with the kill, and Demelin will serve again, up to a 4-point lead for the Timberwolves. Mark Ockett, Todd Elvig, here at Jackson High School on senior night. We carried the senior night festivities earlier. 5 seniors for Jackson and 6 that were also mentioned for Glacier Peak. That goes out, last touch by the Grizzlies, and now it's up to a 5-point lead. 8-3 the score. Dave Thorne isn't going to let this go too long before he calls a timeout. You just got it over.
Boy, you know, that's
a soft set that time.
They're unsure of who's supposed to do what.
Yeah, you got to know who each other is, and that goes out of bounds. That's a break for the Grizzlies. Demelin will come out of the lineup. Grizzlies sub in a couple. One of them, Sierra Pratt, who is going to serve. Yeah, the actual tournament at different sites gets started for 4A coming up on Saturday. There's a lot of tournament action going on throughout the state on Saturday. I'll be involved doing the Metro tournament. So will Tom Lafferty. We're going to split duties there at Chief South High School for the 2nd year in a row.
I don't remember him calling and saying he'd like to do some volleyball over here. I'm going to have to get after him.
Well, you've got Maddie and me covering that, right?
Well,
isn't that a movie? Marley and me.
Yeah.
Maddie and me. Separately. Our agent doesn't book us at the same time. See how Jackson handles this one. It's a 3-point set. Good kill. Off the right pin with the left hand. That is Carly Bond to make it a 2-point set. And Glacier Peak staying tough.
Maybe it won't be GP calling timeout. Maybe it's going to be Jackson.
And keep in mind that for the 4A tournament, which really gets going on the 2nd at Marysville Pilchuck, where there's 3 matches that day, as 3A and 4A start getting closer to merging together. Jackson wraps it up, gets the point. but the first and second seeds, Todd, will not play in that first day of activity. It's the 3 through 6 that end up playing. So 6 and 3 play 4 o'clock on the 28th at the home of the lower seed. Netball, and it's going to be or higher seed, excuse me. And it's going to be a point for Jackson. They've got to back up to a 4-point lead. Service there allows the Grizzlies to stay within 3, and then 5 versus 4, and those are both 4 o'clock games on the 28th. And then the winners of those will play the first and second seeds on the 31st, also on Halloween. So plenty of activity going on Halloween to kind of mess with the trick-or-treaters. But there's still time after those sets to get out and get your candy. Down it goes. That's going to be Glacier Peak picking up the point. They have cut it to 2, and serving for the Grizzlies is Emily Jamison, 5'8" outside hitter. She's a senior. Can Jamison help close the gap here? Watch Jackson. Nice dig off the back.
I love
good set across the court. Glacier Peak staying with it. One-hander. Good rally. That's tough right there. And again with the left-hand swing. Coming through is Carly Bond, and it makes it a 1-point set. Timeout has been called by Jackson. Mindy Staudinger calling the timeout, the head coach, and it's a 10-9 lead for Jackson. They lead 2-1. They won the first 2 sets convincingly, but Glacier Peak came back in the last one to force this 4th set, and we'll have more coming your way on STSPN.com.
Your American dream is out there, so go get it. Dreams don't come easy. They're gonna make you work for it. So put on your work boots, fire up your laptop, pour yourself a cup of coffee, because there's gonna be some late nights. American Family Insurance is your American dream insurance. We protect your home, your car, your business, and the most valuable thing you will ever own. Your dream is out there. Go get it. We'll protect it.
American Family Insurance.
This has turned out to be a really exciting volleyball match here at Jackson High School. We thank you so much for being with us. And also shout out to another one of our great sponsors. That's Sally Petty in Monroe with the American Family Insurance. She's a broker there in Monroe. You need insurance? Talk to Sally Petty with American Family Insurance in Monroe. Mark Ock and Todd Elvig bringing you the action and a chance for Glacier Peak to tie it. They do! No, they said it was off, out of bounds. And that's going to be a point for Jackson. I don't know.
What was out of bounds?
I guess the way it hit the antenna. Jackson up to a 2-point lead. It was very close over there. It was out of bounds on the. Now there's a kill and an ace.
She was trying to do a soccer move there, and they forgot that she had to use her hand.
Lexi Dollarhide. You have to keep a foot down, but you can kick the ball in volleyball, which is one of the more unique.
Kidding.
Yeah, you can. I've seen it. It happens every once in a while.
I like that.
There's the Grizzlies coming through. Yeah,
I want to see it. I do. I'd
yeah,
like to see
it'll suddenly happen. You go, did she just kick that? And you go, well, yeah, that's true. It can happen. But as I understand the rule, you have to keep one foot down and on the floor, and then the other one, you can't do any upside-down bicycle kicks like in soccer. Grizzlies nearly got that one done. Out of bounds. Glacier Peak point. They can tie it here down 12-11. Back deep is Sydney Gowan. She literally runs about 15, 16 feet before she fires her serve off. Glacier Peak trying to play smart. Sydney Peterson hammers it. And we are tied at 12. Look out below.
She was happy with that one. She's smiling all the way down there.
Back in for Jackson will be, well, actually, I think she just played a tad earlier, was Olivia Skibble. Glacier Peak can take the lead. Not going to happen. Cho right up front. Skibble there too. And I think they're going to have Skibble serve, as back in will be Lauren Demelin. 13-12, Jackson on top.
I like that head on the stick thing they got down there in the audience.
Has he got the face on it?
Oh yeah, long hair.
Cho delivers. I haven't picked that one up. I've been watching the game closely. I haven't seen that one down there. 14-12 is the score. They'll serve again. Skibble at the controls on the serves the last couple. Peterson pounds it, but Jackson handles it defensively. Good set across court. And the thing is, too, on that one, they forced the Grizzlies to go chase it. That gets them out of position, and then Jackson trying, but the Grizzlies say, no, we're going to get it done. Peterson right up front, and it's 14-13.
It's a battle.
It is a battle. Glacier Peak trying to force this to game 5. And speaking of games, I was checking on the World Series. Top of the 10th, game 2 down at Dodger Stadium in Los Angeles. Tied at 3 apiece. Astros and the Dodgers. Dodgers won the first game yesterday 3-1. Big kill. Lauren Demelin. And a 2-point lead for Jackson. Oh, these players are fired up. This is good volleyball. Great competition. And the fans right there with them.
I think we're pretty close to the same amount of fans both sides.
Yeah. Fun to watch these extended rallies. There's Peterson. She packs a wallop. Oh, that's tough right there. Into the net. Jackson gets the point. Extends their lead to 16-13. Glacier Peak really has to play carefully here, but not to the point that they're rigid and make mistakes. They're very much in this. Driving at that time was Demelin. Now over the other side, Cho, who's had a great night. And Cho closes it out on that point. 17-13.
I think it's the English.
And we got a timeout called by Glacier Peak. 4-point lead, and we're going to take a timeout too right here on STSPN.com. 17-13 is the score.
Did you know that Speedway Chevrolet is part of the Lee Johnson Auto family? That means 84 years of serving you the LJ way. Need a truck? We have the perfect truck to fit your needs. Half tons, 1 ton, 2-wheel drives, and 4-wheel drives. Our finance specialists are here to help you, whether you have good credit or bad credit. We're just off Highway 522 at West Main Street in Monroe.
Lee Johnson Auto Family, the LJ way.
Welcome back. I noticed switching sports that the Astros have just taken a 5-3 lead against the Dodgers, scoring 2 runs in the top of the 10th. Actually, the Dodgers led that one 3-1 like they won yesterday, and the Astros have chipped away. And right here, it's a 17-13 lead for Jackson. Jackson serving, trying to extend it, trying to win this in 4 sets. There, right up front, Demelin. What a night she's had. And right by her side is Cho. Those two have really strung together an outstanding performance tonight. And leading candidates for our Speedway Chevrolet Player of the Game. Peterson, Jackson staying alive. Different technique for Peterson on that one. Cho, she's hard to deal with those big kills like that. She elevates very well. Smart player.
She is, and I think she puts a little English on her ball too.
She does. And it is a kill and point for Jackson. It extends their lead, 19-13. Up to 6, their biggest lead of set number 3. In the first 2 sets, their biggest leads were 10 and then eventually 11. Peterson gets a hold of it, and she just puts it in bounds, making it 19-14. They desperately needed a point right there to get service back, and serving will be Natalie Ayat. Right up front, Peterson, 2 hands, wins the battle. 4-point set now, and this is about the time last set, Todd, when Glacier Peak really turned it up. They were down 20-15, went on a 10-2 run to win it. Demelin says, no way, not this time, I'm going to get that point. So it's exactly where it was in set number 3 when Glacier Peak, obviously with their back to the wall, trailing 2 sets to nothing, went on that 10-2 run. So we'll see what happens this time around. Lauren Atwood is serving for Jackson. That's inbounds. There's the kill by Emily Jamison. 5'8" outside hitter senior for Glacier Peak. Dropping back will be Macy McQuarrie, libero. That's why she's wearing the white top. Finds a home over the top and an ace. Suddenly it's a 3-point set. Is history repeating itself from set number 3?
Don't be jinxing them.
No, yeah, you got to watch that too. But remember, we're neutral, so we can objectively commentate. Net ball. Jackson ends up with the point. Demelin grabs the ball. She will serve. Also back in is Olivia Skibble.
I think it's that Glacier Peak wants to give us a day off on Saturday.
That's out of bounds. Waiting on that call, but the way the flag was held up would indicate out of bounds. So Glacier Peak is able to get the point, make it 21-18.
Have any idea what's going on over here?
Sierra Pratt. With these two standing up by us here?
Yeah.
I don't know. There's a couple just below the camera that are standing up there. I'm too focused on what's going on the court, but I see what you mean. Kept alive. Skibble. And Jackson wins the battle there. That's Christina Johnson making it a 4-point lead for the Timberwolves. Taylor Eastwood will serve. They need 3 more to win it. And remember, these sets have to be won by 2. Into the net. Grizzlies get a break. Back to serve for them is Emily Jamison. Wow.
Good match.
Really good match. Got to hand it to the Grizzlies for hanging in there after getting beat decisively in the first 2 sets. That's in. Off the right side.
Yeah, decisively would be the word.
Joe returns to the lineup. And back to serve will be Lexi Dollarhide. Up by 4, 23-19. They need 2 now. All right, Jackson with the set. She was kind of far back, didn't have a chance to really cream that one. Oh, good defense right back there. Haley Pistol. Cho, that's going to be in.
Oh,
that's going to be
that.
in. Cho did it again. Oh, my.
Set point.
Set point coming up for Jackson. And we're going to, as soon as this wraps, now again, Grizzlies still have a shot. As soon as it wraps, we will have the selection of player of the game. Jackson fans going nuts down below us to our right. What we got here? That's going to be under the net and on the line, over the line against Jackson. So the Grizzlies stay alive, 24-20.
And they're not that far back.
They're not. And they've actually outscored Jackson 5-4 during this stretch.
5-4 is not going to make it now, though.
You got to get it tied up at least at 24 apiece. Can they do it? Set in the air. Jackson hanging in there strong defensively. There's Cho. Cho really does not hesitate. She brings plenty to the package with those kills. Here's the set over on the other side. Down it goes, back over. Great rally now. Keep building. Over on the side, that is out of bounds. Glacier Peak and their fans, as loud as what we're hearing from the Jackson fans. This place is cranked up here. 24-21. Sydney Gowan with the left-handed serve. You do not want to have an error. Jackson with Cho, and Glacier Peak does it again. Carly Bond, Sydney Peterson over on the right side. Timeout Jackson, 24-22. It's a 2-point set. Here in set number 4, Jackson leading 2-1. Glacier Peak needs to get this baby tied up. And then you go from there. So we'll be back with more right here on STSPN.com. Don't go away. Welcome back as we take you to the finish, brought to you by McDaniel's Do-It Center. The great variety there in Snohomish. 24-22. Glacier Peak down by 2, down 2-1. Can they keep this one going? It's in the air. Keep your eyes on it. Cho. Defense gets it done. And on those kills, too, you got to be careful not to slam it into the net. Out of bounds. No. It's going to be just inbounds. And Jackson gets the victory. 25-22. The Jackson Timberwolves win what turns out to be the 4th and final set tonight as they win 3-1 in a real great battle. I see what you're talking about, them waving down there. And as it turns out, Jackson wins the first set 25-18, the second set 25-14. Glacier Peak wins the third set 25-22, and Jackson comes back and wins the fourth set 25-22. We have our selection of player of the game. Have we made that official yet? I think the two that played extremely well for Jackson were Ciara Cho and also Lauren Demelin. And you say you had given Cho but we could go either way. You're going to go with Lauren? Let's go with Lauren Demelin, and we'll have her come up. She is a 6'2" middle blocker, senior. We're going to know where she's going to school. We'll ask about Cho, too. Both those excellent players. Cho is also an outside hitter, and between the two of them, they just put on a great show tonight. So we'll take a break, and then Todd will get it all set up for the interview, and we'll have Lauren Demelin on here to join us at 6'2". We'll provide accommodations for her. Stay tuned as it's a 3-1 set victory for the Jackson Timberwolves over the Glacier Peak Grizzlies here on STSPN.com. Player of the game from Speedway Chevrolet coming up next. beforehand, and we got to say your name a lot tonight. Congratulations on the victory on senior night. You're a happy camper right now.
Oh, definitely. Always smiling.
Yeah, and that's one of the great things we love about doing high school sports is the enthusiasm, and we could sense that. Obviously, it was senior night tonight. We carried the senior night presentation live, and if you want to go back, it's archived on YouTube at STSPN.com. That's STSPN.com, and we encourage you to watch that because we have the whole presentation on there. Then we got to the sets, and you guys jumped out to it. They had a couple of service errors on that first set, and then that gave you a 2-0 lead, and then you guys got rolling. And take us through that first set when you were able to get going and build up that lead.
Well, right when we started going, it was like this great, like they had the monkeys kind of going on with them.
Yeah.
So we just like build on top of that, and like right when we got that first kill, it just like escalated really quick, and like we carried it for the rest of the match. We kind of went down a little bit when they won one match, but then we brought it back up in the fourth set. So
yeah, because
really
the first two sets were similar in that you were able to get the lead early and just keep building on it and then put them away. Then it gets to set number 3, and suddenly there you are dealing with them not going away. And so what kind of adjustments did you make as you were going through that?
Well, I try every time I go on the court to bring this like level of energy.
I can see that. We love that. That's great.
Yeah, so I just decided, hey, set me this ball, and then I'll bring it. Like I'll bring like the heat, and then one of my other teammates brought it, and I brought it, and then it just like went back again for the third set, and it was really great. And we're just like, we're not letting anything go over like on the block, so it was really great.
You guys had to deal with tough blocking up front too. Sydney Peterson, she's a force to be reckoned with, and kept them in it.
Yeah.
One of the players. And so, I mean, how do you deal with when there's somebody up front like that with that kind of a kill and that type of swing to deal with it to where you guys, okay, here's the adjustments we got to make so that then you can turn it in your direction?
Well, for the blocking, we're like, she keeps blocking cross, so we're going to move in and block cross for her. And then for hitting, we just changed it up what we were going to hit. Like I was going in for a straight one, and that wasn't working, so we decided to go around the back for slides over and over again until we pick it up.
That makes a big difference. And another player that was battling you for, as we had it, for a player of the game was also Ciara Cho.
Yeah.
Between the two of you, talk about high energy out there. How long have you guys been playing together?
Actually, we've been playing like soccer since we were 8 years old, and it just went from soccer to volleyball, and now we're here.
That's fantastic. Yeah.
That's great. We're going on like 8 years.
That's great. And, you know, we were talking too earlier is that there's probably a lot of players around here too that you know from Glacier Peak, because you're not that far apart growing up, and probably played against them in club and select.
I played with them in club for some of the girls.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Well, that's great. So now, what are you looking at for? You looking at playing college ball?
Maybe, but if I did, I would play at low competition level. I want to focus on my academics.
Yeah, and what would those studies be?
Maybe dental hygiene or business. It's kind of.
Yeah, well, those are both good things. And have you enjoyed school here at Jackson?
Yes, I have.
We are going to give you this T-shirt. Hold that up there for our audience. There is your player of the game. And that is sponsored by Speedway Chevrolet and RV Center in Monroe. What about Ciara Cho? Has she decided on whether she's going to play after here?
I don't think so, but we're going to continue playing.
Oh, that you got to keep playing because you know I can see how much you love it.
Yeah.
And even if you don't play at the collegiate level, but play club or do different things or intramurals and stuff, it still keeps you close to the game. And who knows, you might go and say, hey, let's coach this sometime down the road.
Yeah, definitely. She's coaching at the middle school, actually.
Oh, okay, that's great. Well, between the two of you and your entire team, you played great tonight, and I thought you really held in there strong after they came back after set number 3. And I just got this hunch you did want to go to set number 5.
Oh, no.
Yeah,
we got to
finish.
finish.
That can be so tough, and the last time you played them, they won it in 5. Yeah. So this time you got them in 4, and now you move in. Which means you would play against the number 6 seed. We don't have that officially. It looks like I think it's going to be Monroe. I think. I don't have that guarantee, but I think it's Monroe, and that I think we 4 o'clock on Saturday. But don't quote me officially, but we have 6 seed versus 3 seed, and that's 4 o'clock, and it seems like it would be at the higher seed, and then the other one would be 5 seed versus 4. So that should be Glacier Peak against Mount Vernon, whoever finishes the higher seed there. So and then you move on and play against the 1 or 2 seeds and go on from there, and you got your shot at the district tournament championship. So, hey, Lauren, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you so
I'll
much.
shake hands with you. We appreciate you being here. You got your fan club. Hey, Todd, let's get a shot of the family. Well, it's a lot to be proud of as we have the there they are. Let's hear it as our studio audience. There you go. This right here is a huge reason we do what we do, and we love what we do. So, hey, thanks a lot, Lauren. And that is Lauren Demelin, and she is a 6'2" middle blocker. Now, do you play basketball too?
No.
But you're very good at what you do, and middle blocking is such a valuable position on the volleyball court. So best of luck to you and through the tournament and the rest of your senior year.
Thank you.
Okay. We're going to wrap it up as Jackson wins 3-1 over Glacier Peak, and that wraps up the regular season coverage on STSPN.com. We're looking at doing playoff games coming up, postseason games, and especially we might be doing something on Saturday, but also look on Halloween too, as we'll keep you posted. Just keep an eye on the schedule, keep an eye on the website, and we'll let you know what's going on as Lauren puts on her player of the game. And you'll see that. You can check on Facebook as Lauren has her player of the game T-shirt on, and we get those pictures posted right away. Again, this game will be archived, so you can watch it over and over, as well as all the other broadcasts here on STSPN.com. Hey, Todd, I know we've been talking about this one for a couple of weeks about doing this and the possibility, and here it was come up on us tonight, and we got all ready and set, and it turned out to be a real entertaining evening here at Jackson High School.
I got to tell you, I don't think I've ever seen more excitement out of a player of the game, a recipient, than that right there. That is why we do what we do.
It is. It's that if you take a definition as to what it is, that right there with her energy and what we saw with her and her teammates, and of course Glacier Peak too. They came out on the short end tonight, but they also brought a lot to the dance with their energy level and everything. And, again, there's a lot of parents and family members involved that are taking these players to the practices and putting in the time, and then it becomes a labor of love. It's your family. And we like to bring that to you through the airwaves of what we do on STSPN.com. And if you do like what you see here, let your athletic directors know. And, we always like to get a little feedback, and we like to hope we're doing it the right way, and we have a lot of fun with it. So, Todd, Friday night you got a big one coming up, and that will be football at Snohomish or at Monroe, as it is Lake Stevens at Monroe for a really big
Wesco title.
Yeah, Wesco title coming up, a really big one. And so, folks, we ask you to tune in. That's what, 7 o'clock?
7 o'clock.
That'll be a lot of fun. That place is going to be jacked, and they'll be doing their senior night too, I believe, over there at Monroe, wouldn't they?
Well, I don't know. I mean, a lot of the teams have done their senior nights, a couple, last
some
week
earlier,
before,
Yep. So we'll see. Anyway, folks, tune into that 7 o'clock on Friday night, as it'll be Lake Stevens and Monroe for high school football. And then, Todd, as I was mentioning to our viewers and listeners, that you'll put the schedule together as to what's coming up for volleyball. Saturday, possibly Saturday, and also possibly on Tuesday, so they can keep track of that.
That is right. We're going to there we go. We're going to be.
Your technical side kicked in for a second.
Yeah, I know. I saw the audio bars jumping all over the place. I thought, wait, something's playing.
Industry talk, folks.
That is right. No, I was. We have to kind of look at it as a whole, because it's kind of. Sometimes when you get down to this point in the year or in the season, you wind up having teams that are doing some play-in. They wind up being at home when you didn't think they were home, and so our geographical area is kind of the Lake Stevens, Monroe, Glacier Peak, Snohomish, Jackson. That's kind of our home area.
Yeah.
And although we will be going up to Marysville to cover the playoffs up there, but we have to kind of look at it as a whole to see who's going to be home and if we get a chance to cover it.
Yeah, makes sense. And don't forget, right around the corner as we wind through football and volleyball, that coming up will be lots of basketball.
A ton of basketball.
Lots of basketball.
Probably 3 or 4 games a week.
That is fantastic, and I know a lot of us on the announcing side look forward to it right in through the NWAC basketball tournament at Everett Community College taking place in March. So, Todd, thanks again. Thanks for having me, and we'll be talking soon. Folks, remember, winning is for tonight. Mark Ockett saying And sportsmanship is for a lifetime. Take care and good night.